invited guests, and I know that there are persons online, as I indicated, or board members in the house and online, or media partners, and or team that is here, or communication team supporting this event, persons with disabilities for whom this function or this event and this week has been organized. A warm welcome to you all. It is particularly heartening to know that this is where we are at in Jamaica. We do have a building code that was passed, a building act, the National Building Act that was passed in 2019. And the fact that we're here today launching this particular checklist that the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities adapted and adopted from our partners in the US. We're here to push the launch or push this checklist as part of the drive to get our environment at a better place to facilitate our persons with disabilities and others, because once you make the space accessible for one, it becomes accessible for all. Can we at this time stand as we do the national anthem? Such a beautiful thing to listen or to sing the national anthem. At this time, I just want to identify if Mrs. Philippa O'Connor Bennett from the Bureau of Standards is here. Okay, just checking. Checking to ensure that Jason Ricketts is here. Yes, I think I see him. I know Mrs. Shoshana Russell McLean is here. Mrs. Jennifer Brown Cunningham, not seeing her as yet. And the other persons who are participating so far are here. So at this time, I am going to be inviting Mrs. Philippa O'Connor Bennett from the Bureau of Standards, who will bring greetings. Can you put our hands together for her?
Good morning, everyone. All protocols observed. Honorable Minister Colonel Charles Jr., Honorable Minister Dunn. Good morning, everyone. I wish to bring greetings on behalf of the Bureau of Standards Jamaica, and we want to thank the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disability for extending the invitation to us. We applaud the move to develop this checklist as it stands as a basic tool to access the environment with regards to accessibility and ways to improve it. However, we note that the process requires continuous identification of barriers and ways for improvement. And as such, the BSJ stands ready to offer our assistance to the JCPD team. And so in this regard, we look forward to future collaborations and we extend our commendations to the team from the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mrs. Philippa O'Connor Bennett, on behalf of the Bureau of Standards. Next, we will have an accessibility testimonial, and we will have Mr. Jason Ricketts, disability youth advocate, who will be coming to share what it means to have an accessible environment. Can he be guided? Mike?
Is everybody hearing me now?
Yes.
All right. For me, accessibility is one of the most important articles in the United Nations Conventions on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. And I must say, as we move further into the 21st century, I personally have realized that Jamaica is becoming a more accessible place for persons with disabilities of the varying disability groups. And accessibility is multidimensional, and I will focus on the information. For example, a blind person like myself, I am more able to access information, and this is in no small part due to the smartphones that we have and the various screen readers that are available. So for example, 10, 15 years ago, certain information and certain documents we wouldn't be able to access without the aid of a sighted individual. Even the buildings, and yes, I know Dr. Hendricks alluded to it earlier, with the new building code that was passed in around 4 or 5 years ago, we realized that certain things are becoming more accessible. But while certain things or certain strides have been made, we know that there's a lot more needs to be done, and we must commend the necessary authorities who would have seen it fit to ensure that this individual, that this group of persons with disabilities are not left behind. And so we want to thank them very much. And yes, we know that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So let us, as we move towards the 2030 agenda, let us hope that everything is done to include persons with disabilities into the planning and execution of this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jason Ricketts. And might I say that Jason has a master's in communication. And so as a person with a disability, sometimes we wonder if persons who are blind or persons with other disabilities can achieve and can do well. He is one of such examples that it doesn't matter. Once the reasonable arrangements are put in place, he will and they can do well. Thank you so much again, Sir Jason. Just before we take our minister, we'll be shifting up the program a little bit. And so we will just take Mrs. Shoshana Russell McLean coming to do an item, and then we will move to the minister.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, so I will give you a little rendition, and I hope you enjoy it. Just waiting on the instrumental. Each day I live, I want to be the very best. Could you repeat the tracker, please? Start over. Can you turn it up a little bit, please? Each day I live, I want to be best, the best of me. I'm only a heartbeat away, and the end.